Okay, welcome back everybody to the Dream Whisper of Jesus, where we discuss and interpret prophetic dreams. Beautiful summer's evening in Canberra, Australia. Today I thought I'd make a brief part 3 to my series on China's secret war against Australia, because in the past few days some really interesting open source intelligence has been published in the public domain, which gives us more information about China's military plans for Australia. So if you've seen part 1 and part 2 of my videos, you might recall China has a secret plan to capture Canberra Australia, and if it does that, then it will be able to turn all of Australia into a vassal of China. And one of the secret parts of their military strategy is that they have 7,000 to 8,000 fifth column forces in Sydney, and some of those forces will be deployed to Bateman's Bay as a strike force when the Chinese military operation is launched. So the new public source information that's been released in the past few days is quite amazing and shocking, but basically on the new Christmas Day, and then again I think was it January 11th, just a few days ago, we've had a major mobilization of China's fishing fleet, and for the first time ever these vessels have conducted what can be described as military manoeuvres. So we have a very clear idea now of China's naval military assets, broadly defined, that can be used in the Pacific region and against Australia as well. So basically, if we look at the Pacific region and the world navies, Chinese Navy has 350 commissioned ships, US Navy has somewhere around 300 commissioned ships, but the complicating factor for the American Navy is it's widely deployed and dispersed across the Atlantic, Indian and Pacific Oceans. So on any given day you've got roughly 100 American ships in the Pacific, and then a lot of them aren't actually in a combat ready state. In contrast, Chinese Navy is largely deployed in the Western Pacific, and so from the outset you've got a major overmatch of Chinese naval vessels to US naval vessels in the Western Pacific. And then now we have this new information that the Chinese fishing fleet will operate with the Chinese Navy as an additional combat force. So suddenly you have this major boost of Chinese naval capability in the Pacific of 350 plus 2,000 fishing vessels, and you've suddenly got Chinese Navy of 2,350 combat vessels of various capabilities. So very serious combat force. And then we don't know the exact details of how those extra 2,000 vessels will be used, but they could be used in a military operation to capture Canberra, Australia, which is what Father God shows me in my prophetic dreams. So it's certainly a sobering force, a serious force that we have to pray about for Australia's ongoing protection. So it's really interesting how China uses Taiwan as a smokescreen to mobilize these massive forces, and then they can be used as a strike force against Australia if they decide to do it. And we came very close to the Chinese launching that operation over the Christmas New Year's period just a few weeks ago. So we have to keep praying for Australia and Canberra. It's a very beautiful city, as you can see, but it's also the seat of power for Australia. If you control Canberra, you control Australia, and that's what the Chinese are secretly planning to do. Okay, God bless you everyone. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.